So I learned from my rabbi regarding Parasha BO that when we say Bo, it's a very strange language that the Torah uses. It says, "Come to Pharaoh." Why come to Pharaoh? You should say, "Go to Pharaoh." And the idea behind it, and it's connected to a Zohar that explained that Pharaoh representing the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination, when one approach to deal with the Yetzer Hara, one of the tactics, one of the tools to deal with the Yetzer Hara and to fight him the proper way is actually to give him kavod, to give him honor. We have to come to him, meaning to approach him with kavod. That's what Rashi says, what bo means. And the idea is that sometimes if we want to fight our enemy, you gotta have respect for him. You gotta realize how great he is, how smart he is. So many times my rabbi said that, the our Yetzer Hara knows us since we are born. He's a genius, and he's so great. He's huge. If I don't recognize how great and how smart he is, I'm gonna be defeated. So I have to approach when I deal with my evil inclination, with my own personal challenges. I have to understand this greatness in what I'm dealing with. It's not an easy task, and the more I'm aware of that, the better I'll be prepared to have a strategy and to fight for that. So, to go further, we have to see when the word bo appears the first time in the Torah. The idea of coming to someone. Each time we want to understand something deeper, we go to the origin, the first place that word appears in the Torah, and the first place the word appears in the Torah is in Gan Eden. As we know, everything goes back to Gan Eden, almost everything, and we are there talking about Adam, that Hashem brings the animal to him. The animal, the animals are gonna come to you, and I'm gonna see how you're gonna name all the animals. And so it's very interesting that the reason why this is happening there is because basically Hashem is preparing Adam to meet his Ezer Kenegdo, to meet his wife. The wife is the greatest helper for us to grow. And so he brings all the animals, and by bringing all the animals, he's preparing him. So he has to name them, and by naming them, he's understanding, okay, I have to have kavod for creation, to recognize the greatness, the essence of everything that's in creation, every creature, everything that exists. And that's the naming. When you name something, you realize what's its true essence, the greatness of it. And when he's going to be able to name the animals, he's going to be ready to name his wife, which he was struggling with because he called her Isha, which was not really a name, it's an extension of him from Isha. The truth is, eventually he changed her name to a name that was much greater in a certain way, because Chava, who was a mother of all living things, which was much greater. And we know that the whole relationship between Adam and his wife was not so good because he let her alone, hanging out in the garden with a snake. That doesn't make sense in the first place. Why is Chava? She was just created. How come you're not with her? How come she's hanging out alone there in the garden and she has no one to talk to but the snake? So he was missing kavod. So Hashem was preparing him to have kavod to his wife, to understand her greatness. He only took him after the scene where he finally recognized a little bit her greatness. So one of the challenge that men have in general, in order to become better husband, a better person, is to realize how great their wife is, the greatness of their wife, how much they need their wife, how much their wife is here actually as a challenge toward his Yetzer Hara. Meaning, The wife is the Ezer Kenegdo. She's the helper opposite him. The wife is gonna be there to challenge him and to bring out of him all his, all the places that will trigger Yetzirah or evil inclination. She's gonna face him with that, and that's where we can go even deeper. So one is, first we have to honor our spouses. Here we're speaking men and women. It goes both ways, but mostly the man has to see his wife as someone very great because she's at least as great as him, since she's here to help him, right? And not only that, when Adam is brought in front of all the animals and the animals are coming to him, what he has to do, he has to actually recognize what animal is. What that means, we know the Torah tells us that we have a nefesh abahamit, an animal soul. And the animal soul is the one that is responsible for all the evil inclination, all the struggles, all the yetzirah, all the desires that we have in us. And we have many examples, like, you should be Az Kanamer, Ratz Katzvi, Gibor Kari, right? Strong like a lion, bold like a leopard, as swift as an eagle. So all those characteristics, we have powers of animals in us. And there is the one that is Nefesh Abahamit, that our animal soul, which has some negative things, just that are not good for the soul. So what's happening, naming all the animals, really, it also means something else. It means that Adam has to name all the animals in him. He has to realize that all the animals out there can be a reflection of himself. He has to realize, I might be a predator, I might be, quick to anger or to attack, I might be, too slow, too fast, whatever it is that the animal is. So we have all those animals in us that we have to learn to control. And the wife is really here in order to trigger those animals. Your wife is going to push all your buttons, all your animal buttons, and you're going to be challenged, faced with all of your inner demons, inner animals that you're struggling with. And that's what the real wife is. That's a real Ezer. She's going to show you the animals in you, and you are going to have to accept you have those animals, and you're going to have to try to learn to control them, direct them, and use them properly, like animals at a zoo. Or befriend. Another way is to befriend, to recognize the animal, to name the animal, to befriend the animal, and then direct go in the wild with them, but as a friendship, as a partnership, to fulfill the soul's desire, God's desire, the desire of Torah, and the wife's desires. So it's a very important lesson, because unless we understand that our spouse is here to make us greater, we're not going to appreciate who he or she is. And we have to understand, without our spouse, we will not be able to control our animals. Without our spouse, we're not going to have the tools to become holy. We're going to be in our own zoo. We are our own animals. We're not triggered. We're not. That's the ego. We become narcissists. Just my zoo, my animals, myself, and don't bother the animals in there. So we have to really face ourselves. So the only way to truly love someone, and it's connected to that whole idea of respecting all that. If you really want to love someone, you have to love someone with all its animals. First of all, you have to love yourself with all the animals in you. Once you're able to accept that you love every part of yourself, this is what true love is. True love is I love every part of myself. Then I can learn to love every part of the others, and the others is also going to have animals in him. And you have to learn to respect those animals and to love those animals and to love the whole thing. Now, it doesn't mean that we have to love evil or love the Yetzirah, but we have to understand that it is part of our greatness or of growing with those animals. We have to direct them to properly. Evil, in a way, is only undirected or misdirected positive energy. it's a positive, it's an energy that is becomes selfish at the end, or that becomes destructive for others. But at the end, it's only pure energy. We're created out of love. Chesed olam ibane, God created us out of love, and we're here to express love in many different ways. For a moment that love, that energy becomes selfish or misdirected, then we destroy ourselves and the world, and we become evil animals instead of loving animals, so to speak. Obviously, we use those animals to become greater and to accomplish spiritual things. We're not just animals, God forbid. We are the soul surrounded by animals, and the soul try to, like a zoo master or whatever it's called, to direct the animals and perform the greatest show. It's time to do the greatest show with all the people you have in you, all the personalities, all the desires, all the animals, and that's what you have to live with. And it's so important to accept, but a lot of people don't accept the struggle. Say, I don't want to be like that. I hate myself for being like that. First of all, understand that's not you. The real you is your soul. Your soul just wants to give love and just loves. And you're surrounded by garments, by animals and all that were given to you as a tool, as your mission to control, to direct, and perform the greatest show. You have to be the man of the greatest show. And understand that every personality is a part of you, are lovable, but you have to use them properly. They can go against you otherwise, and they can destroy you and or destroy others. So learn to love every part of yourself, learn to respect them, understand that each one is a gift, really, even though it looks evil, but really at the root it's a gift from God for you to direct. And then when you achieve to be able to do that, you're going to love yourself, and you'll be able to love everyone, because you understand everybody in the same situation. And this way we'll achieve a much more loving world, and will be much better spouses. It really starts with being a good spouse. You have a good relationship, a good spouse, you love each other, accept every part of the other, help the other deal with his parts, and respect that the other person, for everything that he is, everything he has to struggle with, and help them. Then you will have the best possible relationship, the greatest love.